Tradesquare is Australia's first business-to-business marketplace connecting people, brands and organisations into this diverse ecosystem in a unique global landscape. Through pivoting, transforming and reshaping, Australian businesses have an opportunity to create the model for the future that aligns with the world's needs and leveraging the power of a collaborative approach. Through the Tradesquare podcast, we will bring together dynamic, diverse and thought-provoking leaders from business, government and organisations to have conversations to further enable new thinking for the future. Welcome to Tradesquare, Australia's leading business-to-business marketplace. I'm Catherine Vandermeulen and joining me today is Kristoffer Flowers, Managing Director at Maynard Barrett. How are you, Chris?
Very well, thank you.
So tell us, who is Chris Flowers?
Well, Chris Flowers is obviously Managing Director of Maynard Barrett, and Maynard Barrett is a insurance broking business. General insurance is probably the easiest way to put it. So the business which is kind of encompasses home, motor, business insurance, and we're located in Elsternwick in Victoria.
And so tell us about your original call to adventure to joining Maynard Barrett.
Well, interesting. So I've been in the insurance industry for probably close to 20 years. So working at insurance companies to working in small, medium and international or global insurance broking businesses. And after a period of time, decided to venture out and establish this business and create something which is kind of unique, but also something which is local to the area of Elsternwick.
And what makes Maynard Barrett unique?
The thing with us is we focus a lot on our local community, working with local clients, customers, and kind of establishing that. We do work with overseas clients and large companies, but it was just more something where I wanted to kind of focus almost like a grassroots kind of a business where it can kind of work with clients in local spaces, local community groups, and just work through that.
And so what are some of the biggest focuses in your role that really support Australian businesses?
It's just being here for people. From our perspective, we want to be here for businesses to give them support, insurance related, claims related, or if they've got other issues that they need to kind of discuss and, hey, listen, we're looking for work cover solutions. Who can we talk to? So just kind of creating that one-stop shop solution for businesses out there, both locally and abroad.
And so obviously the last 12 months, as we've both shared, have been interesting. How have you really seen businesses evolve and add more value to the world in the last 12 or 18 months?
It's been fairly tough for a lot of businesses out there. So it's kind of like a two-speed businesses. We're seeing businesses which have been heavily reliant on, there might be tourism, which have obviously there's been some impacts with COVID. And we've seen businesses which have been large in infrastructure or development, which have seen larger increases in income, but also staffing. It's that adaptation, which we're seeing across the board at the moment, where being a resilient business is what's going to get you through to the end. And the adaptation and it changes what you could actually do to strengthen that part of your business and to be on the other side once this thing kind of blows over, hopefully.
You spoke about resilient businesses. I'd love to dig a bit further into resilient human beings. Mm-hmm. How have resilient and dynamic and resourceful individuals played a key role in working towards transforming and adapting at the Australian businesses?
Well, businesses have they've almost been paused, is probably the easiest way to put it. They've been paused for the best part of 12 months. Victorian-based businesses more, obviously with having almost 6 to 9 months of almost lockdowns in and out of periods. But what I've seen is businesses have great relationships with their employees. So it's that adaptation where having, say, 20, 30, 40 staff inside an office space where they're saying, well, listen, people need to work remotely. But now that people have started to come back into working in an office, they're still offering that flexibility because the employees have done that extra yard for them during COVID. And they're trying to create that more of a work-life balance for employees and really giving employees, hey, I love my job attitude. And that's what's really helping a lot of businesses, I feel, do well at the moment with certain things where they've got good people they can rely on in their office. Management, they've obviously got other issues to deal with supply chain disturbance is one thing. Imports in certain areas have kind of almost stopped, delays, stock delays, bringing goods into the country. So businesses are now having to kind of focus on that, but they know they're in good hands when it comes to dealing with having good staff and in the back in their office or at their home, so to speak.
And so, what are some of the key ways for Australian businesses to really minimise their risk but still optimise on new opportunities?
That's interesting. I feel that balance, that work-life balance is definitely something which needs to be continuously focused on. Having good staff, and there's always going to be risks with, opening too soon, taking in large orders. Should I take on new suppliers? You've never dealt with certain, credit timeframes. Some businesses might have had very strict credit control and credit timeframes, and they may end up having to be more flexible around that. It's that adaptation, but I feel what we've seen over the last 12 months is a lot more conversation. So there's been a lot more conversations with clients to their accountants. There's been a lot more conversations to their lawyers around things like contracts, terms of business. Insurance brokers is another one where we've been involved with clients around changes to the business, how the business is going to look in the next 12 months, how it was looking in the last 12 months. So we feel that the people who are running the businesses now are reaching out to the experts or professionals, if you want to call it that, to get their guidance and their expertise on what's the best way forward in certain ways. So that's what we're seeing a lot more, where people are having that conversation with the accountant or with the insurance brokers and stuff.
And so, what's the key message that you are super passionate about, that you are advocating and championing through your work at Maynard Barrett?
Well, with businesses changing so quickly and having to work remotely, we're personally having a lot more conversations around, what's the right way to have my employee obviously return to work. And we have work cover consultants who we deal with, and they assist with that aspect. But, people being remote to the office and how they will bring them back into the office space, but also the additional exposures they may have for the prolonged period of people working at home, such as, emails, cyber. Cyber is a big thing, which we're having a lot of conversations with at the moment, where employees working on their own, might be their own laptops, company laptops, home Wi-Fi, security, all that kind of things is where we're having a lot more conversations around.
I'd love you to unpack that topic a little further for us around the world of cyber, because it is such a beast, let's just say, and there's so many variables. Are there kind of key things that organizations should really look out for in relation to cyber to really minimize their risk?
It's the one thing which we're seeing is there's a lot of investment when it comes to upgrading systems at the moment, where people were buying 15, 20, 30 laptops for the staff, new mobile phones, docking stations, computer chairs, whatever it is. So they're giving people the equipment to go and work from home. And what we're seeing now, and it's a great thing to see, is that they're getting tech experts in to make sure that the security procedures, protocols, passwords, not too many P's there, are up to scratch, because they've got so many people they're not keeping eyes on. They have to dial into systems. They're actually having to make sure that the security upgrades are keeping along with the number of employees and how they're operating and working. And we're seeing a lot of businesses spend money in that space, because in the event that something goes wrong, somebody clicks on an email that they may not ask another employee about, say, hey, listen, I've got this random email from a supplier, or I've got this email from the ATO, whatever it is, whatever the latest scam email that might be going around. people aren't having that conversation in an office, so they may inadvertently click on it. So we're saying to businesses, make sure that you've got your employees, they understand what working from home means from a cyber perspective. Be sorted, and from that basis, just working through that.
And so what are some of the hot topics in your office at the moment that you are excited about for the future?
At the moment, it's just really helping people out at the moment. That's what we're seeing. We're seeing a lot more people that require a lot more support around moving forward with their business, adapting and changing. And we're just passionate about helping people out through that process, because we know that this process is going to be at least another few months to get through. And then through that process, people will start looking at things a little bit more, saying, hey, listen, financial constraints might be in place. So yeah, that's what we're seeing, that we're just letting people work with them, support them at the moment through this time frame, and then continue to give. What we do is give advice and help people to survive an insurance event.
And what are some key tips that you think businesses really need to consider in making informed decisions?
I think I touched on this a little bit earlier. It's having the right people involved with the business. So having your accountant, having your lawyer, having your work cover consultant, having your insurance broker, having those right people in place to help you with decision-making process, because that's what they do. So people look at your taxes, people will look at your insurance products, people will look at your financial planner. There's just so many different people that can be involved, but having that availability to lean on those individuals is going to help you out.
And I guess that access to expertise that you might not necessarily have in your organization, that you can obviously outsource and gather those true expertise. So yes. Thank you, Chris, so much for sharing your world with Tradesquare.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.
For more information on Tradesquare, head to www.tradesquare.com.au and support Australian business economic recovery and growth with a collaborative approach to the future of business.